Happy New Year, guys. It's gonna be a rough one. Okay, so I think this is just gonna be another Rawvlog kind of ramble and quick update on my last one. You can see I come to you from a new location inside a completely new house where we still have bits and pieces of stuff all over, even though we moved in, oh golly, 3 months ago now. I'm officially filming this on January 2nd, 2025. And yeah, it's going to be a wild year and a wild time. So let's just get to chatting. A few things. Since I filmed my last empties video, my 3/4 of the way empties video, I have new empties. So I thought I would document them for the sake of argument. So yeah, let me start with that. More bath care products that I finished. Necessaire body wash. Highly recommend, as always. And then sane Zero, which is what my tattoo artist specifically recommends. Post tattoos. I got a new tattoo this year. Maybe I'll put it here somewhere if I can learn how to do that. I'm learning all kinds of new skills this year. It's 2 days in. I am learning all kinds of new skills. So I'll put a picture of my tattoo there. I really, really love it. This was a long time planning, and I will also give my tattoo artist details somewhere in the description box because she's fabulous and I want her to get more clientele here in London. Let's see, I finished another body cream, another one of the Garnier. I think I documented finishing up an avocado scented or formulated one. This is a cocoa and ceramide one. It's fantastic. I have another one of these too. When it comes to shower, little sample of the Way Detox Shampoo, a travel size of Oxy-10 Homme, probably from my husband's shaving kit from travel, but whatever. Ooh, this one's nice. An Aromatherapy Associates Revive Morning Bath and Shower Gel, for a nice little bath moment. And I think I mentioned the Act deodorant balm in the big roundup that I did. And I mentioned going through a sample kit. This is the scent that I like the most. Oh golly, and I've got to unravel it to remember what it is. It is called After Thunder. Love the balm, already have another one of these on the go. Really love this product, as I think I mentioned. Then finishing up with some more skincare, 2 more moisturizers, another one of Skin Rock's The Moisturizer, and then another simple, which I think is a Garnier sub-brand product, which was their Vital Vitamin Cream, just travel sized for the traveling that we did this year. Another simple product, again, travel size, just eye makeup remover, very important. 2 pricier products, another Skin Rocks that they came out with, I think, last year in 2024, the antioxidant. This is a vitamin C based serum, but has other ingredients in it, of course. I really liked it. I found that it works. Like many efficacious vitamin C products, it smells a little bit like hot dog water, but I enjoyed it. It worked, continuing to fight the melasma and the ravages of time. Ooh, and Biologique Recherche Lotion P50. Again, fighting the good fight against pigmentation. This is OG beauty online culture spaces. It smells like demonic salad dressing, like demonic seasoning oil. It's so good. It's such a good exfoliant. It is ferociously expensive. And for that reason, I haven't repurchased it yet, but I probably will at some point this year once I get through some of my cheaper exfoliations and acids. And then finally, some more makeup. I got through Lisa Eldridge's Kitten Lash mascara. I go through mascaras about 1 every 3 months, which is also on par with recommendations for good hygiene. This is a fantastic product, my usual kind of tubing favorite situation. I have another one of these already that I bought from Space NK using beauty points, so it cost me like £3. So expect to see another one of these in next year's empties. Ooh, This has been here before. Victoria Beckham's poolside gloss. Beautiful product, really love it. We'll probably purchase again at some point. Another Lisa Eldridge, and another lipstick, Painterly. Use this one down to the nub. This is her, I think it's her Lucent formula. I don't remember the exact name, but it's not her matte formula. This is a beautiful My Lips But Better shade. I really enjoyed using this and enjoyed using it down to the last drop. And then another perfume entry, BB's Ghost of Tom. Beautiful perfume, really liked this. This was probably another Advent Calendar Deluxe sample size. Gorgeous, really enjoyed it. I own too many perfumes. Again, I'm going to try and get through some more this year, so I'm not going to be repurchasing it, but it's definitely a contender for future shopping. Now, having done that, I need to confess. I was thinking about this earlier, and I remember doing a video like this about this time last year, a little bit earlier, talking about how one of my big goals was to go on a no-buy. I failed. I failed utterly. I bought beauty products this year. I bought clothing this year, or this past year in 2024. And part of this I needed to. I've alluded to this in past comments or videos and on my website, on my blog. My health has been all over the place for the last few years, and reactions to various medications have particularly influenced my weight. Like a lot of people, I gained weight in COVID. Like a lot of other people, I've had reactions to common antidepressants in the past. Both of these things in tension made my weight go up quite a bit. Some other stuff contributed to this. 2024 though, I lost a ton of weight, and I've been working on this actually since about February 2023. And in that now 2-year period almost, I've dropped 50 pounds, and it's made a huge difference. I am 5 feet tall. I'm not a large woman, and 50 pounds for me, 5 pounds for me, is a significantly higher portion of my body weight than someone like my 6-foot+ husband. But I think part of the reason I was able to make videos about things like sex and sexuality, or even the trad wife content, there's an element of body awareness to that I didn't feel able to make a couple of years ago because I kind of hated myself. I mean, and I only say that sparingly. I have a lot of body issues. And I've had them my whole life. I've always been a small woman, and but I've not been a thin or dainty woman. I have hips. I have a skeleton that carries the weight of an hourglass figure. And I have ever since I hit puberty. And my weight has been a struggle my whole life. And I also think that, anyone, I think this is a fairly common experience. I don't think that I'm special. But putting on that much weight really, really affected me for a long time. It affected my self-concept. I'm really lucky. I have a fantastic partner. This was never an issue in our relationship, but it was an issue for me. It was an issue in my own head. Tangent, but like I have very, very distinct memories of having my weight commented on by my family since I hit puberty. I actually documented this in an old diary entry when I was at university. But every time I came home from visiting university for a several-year period, the first or second comment to me from one of my parents had to do with my weight. And even now, occasionally, it happens. It happened this Christmas period where I talked to one of my parents, and the first thing that they commented on was my weight. Let's maybe stop doing that. Anyway, all of this is to say, I'm really proud of having lost as much weight as I had, but it also contributed in a weird way to failing my no-buy goals, because quite literally, most of my clothes didn't fit me anymore. Like I actually had the experience of having like skirts and trousers fall off my body. Which might be good in some toxic ways of thinking and are bad in other toxic ways of thinking. Anyway, I had to buy clothes this year. I legitimately had to, because otherwise I would have nothing for my body. And then I'm very much an all or nothing person. This is not a good aspect of my personality, but because I'm an all or nothing person, you know, the moment I open the floodgate on purchasing something, there's something in my stupid ape brain that's like, well, fuck it. You know, guess this goal is a major failure, and that allows me to justify other spending. I am aware of it, and I hate that because I don't even have the luxury of lying to myself about it. That being said, you know, we lived within our means this year. It's why we were able to finance a thing like a last minute house move. It was why we were able to go back to the States and do other kinds of travel. But I want to double down on that goal this year and genuinely make a real effort at it. And I think part of that is going to be including me holding myself accountable by actually filming updates about it, writing about it on my blog, which I've made this promise before, but I want to do more of this year, and I'll come back to that a little bit later. I really want to hold myself accountable for my consumerism for a lot of reasons, but particularly in 2025. I want to hopefully keep my weight steady, so that I don't have a situation where I have to clothe my body again. But there are things like beauty and cosmetic spending, or just frivolous spending, like getting too many takeaway coffees. Small things that I just want to control more for and be more mindful of. So what I've decided is I think I'm going to do something that's been very successful for me in the past, which is a series of mini challenges. And again, hopefully it will allow me to hold myself accountable by writing and doing more video content updates about it. And my first one for January, I'm not doing dry January. Witness the bubbles. We're going to balance anti-consumerism with not restricting ourselves from the small pleasures of life in 2025, because boy golly are we going to need them. But I've decided we're not going to be spending money on alcohol in January. So Jeff and I enjoy making the occasional cocktail at home. So what that means is we're not going to do pub nights with friends or anything like that. We're not going to drink out if we go out for dinner or anything like that. If we are going to drink anything, it's going to be something we make at home and do together. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to do any takeaway for the month of January. This is a bit of a vice for Jeff and I because we are dinks, dual income, no kids, and we have the money to spend on takeaway if neither of us feels like cooking. And we do. So a small thing that I can do to just save myself a little bit of extra coin in January is no takeaway. And for me, that's also going to include things like I'm not going to do any grocery orders that I'm going to order through delivery services, something that I'm also liable to do if I'm feeling particularly lazy. Not going to happen. Hold myself accountable to this via video. So sometime in February, I'll tell you how I did. Let's see, another small goal that I'm trying to do for myself is I'm going to try and play my piano every day. This was a birthday present that I do not make as much use of as I should. I love having a piano again, and I need to appreciate it by actually using it regularly and getting back into the habit of practicing my piano. Like so many things, oh God, mom was right. You know? I fought my parents on music lessons for years, and it wasn't until I was late in high school that I realized, oh, fuck, I'm good at this, and I think I enjoy it. So then I had to pay for my own lessons in university, and then of course, you know, I've been without a piano the entire time we've been in London. So it was a really lovely thought for Jeff to get me one for a birthday present, and I want to use it and I want to value it. Again, we'll do an update about that come January. But otherwise, I think I'm also going to, holding myself accountable, try not to buy any new clothing this year. And I mean it this time. I'm going to give myself a couple of outs, as always, if I need to replace something that's been damaged, like tights that have been ripped or something like that. Or if I need to replace a set of underwear or something like that, or socks. Those don't really count. And I think I'm also going to give myself an out around my birthday to maybe make a cheeky purchase or two. I'll document that in real time. But here I am. I'm turning 39 this year. And in so many ways, I'm finally in a place where I'm happy with how I look and feel. I've loved getting older. All of the anti-aging discourse is not for me. Every year I get older, I have fewer fucks to give, and it is fantastic. I have loved my 30s. You can pay me to go back to my 20s. But apart from learning to love myself more and better, I'm in a place where I'm taking care of myself more and better and more consistently. And my body is not jumping around as much as it did. And from what I can tell, that could go downhill again as I head into perimenopause and eventually menopause. So I'm going to enjoy this time period deliberately. I have beautiful clothing, I've spent good money on it, and I'm going to make use of it. Like I said, I'll hold myself accountable. I will give myself, birthday or similar related outs. But I made all my final purchases for 2024 well before the end of the year. And I feel really good about the state of my wardrobe. And I don't feel really good about the state of a lot of shopping industries at the moment, particularly clothing. I've done stuff like this before. There was a period of time where I didn't buy anything new for years. I wrote about this on my old blog, the archives of which are still live. It's called Small Dog Syndrome. I really, really enjoyed that. And I can't decide if I want to kind of return to that, only buying vintage or secondhand, or if I really want to pivot more towards buying things that are actually made by makers, i.e. spending a lot more money to get something like individually tailored for me that I buy once every few years, for example. I need to think about this one a bit more, and I'm going to take this year, I think, to think about it. So making use of what I have, not adding to it, hopefully maintaining my health in this stable place where I've gotten it to, and trying to enjoy what I have and what I currently own more. Jeff and I are saving up. As I mentioned before, we want to buy a house. That is a goal for us. And I really would like to take more of our disposable income, which we have the luxury and the privilege of being fairly frivolous with, and being aggressive about our saving and investments and things like that. That's how I want to do. That's what I want to do this year. So again, I look forward to talking about it. The other thing that I used to do on my old website that I've gotten out of the habit of, because I've gotten out of the creative habit, like so many people, is my idea of yearly themes. This isn't original to me. I think I first heard about it through like the creator CGP Grey, but I know it's not unique to him either. It's instead of picking resolutions, which are very easy to fail on or to flail on, depending on your mindset, I like the idea of picking a theme for the year that you can adjust a lot of behaviors or decisions against as kind of a North Star. I have done past themes. Again, maybe I'll link some in the description box to my old website, but I'm going to do a post on my new one as well about how I'm thinking about 2024. And I've decided I want to make 2024 the year of attention. And what I mean by that specifically is how I spend my attention, where I choose to put it, the energy that I choose to deploy my focus to. I think this is influencing my anti-consumerist thinking. I want to change my attention from consuming or buying things to owning things and to having a more future-focused mindset. But as anyone who, again, follows me on social media, a dangerous pastime, or has read anything that I've written in the past, or has listened to me yap here, I spend a lot of time talking, thinking, engaging with politics, with media, with technology, and the space in the world that it's creating for us. And 2024 was a fascinating year when it comes to the attention economy, which is a thing that we all live in now. The attention economy is how we spend our attention, our time, our focus. And whether it's in the world of politics, whether it's in the world of media or social media, whether it's in the realm of like influencer-based consumerism, we have been living in the attention economy for a long time now. And in 2024, there was all kind of debate and discourse and academic drops and pop culture writing, if you will, about what things like smartphones, of course, it's always about the phones, but what a decade of social media, what a decade of all of these forces have kind of done to us as a society. And I think we can all agree that the results have been suboptimal. And I've certainly felt this in my own life. I'm far from the first person to comment on this, but I've noticed that my own attention span over the last few years has gotten shorter. That is absolutely a byproduct of how media is sliced and diced, the kind of cafeteria nature of being able to select things, how whole discourses and political agendas are distilled down to sound bites to take up as little amount of time as possible while provoking an outsized, in many cases, reaction or reactivity. I need to relearn how to pay attention. It's so odd to me that I have this problem because when I want to, I can pay attention to the things I care about. I read over 200 books in 2024, all of which is linked on Goodreads if anyone cares. I want to read at least 200 books in 2025 again. That's fairly normal for me. I can pay attention to the arts and entertainment things that I care about. And if there's a topic that I particularly am interested in, frequently tech, media, or politics adjacent, I will spend time and energy seeking out information and informing myself on it. I'm able to pay attention, and yet I've noticed my attention span shrinking. I think part of this is because I'm not writing as much as I used to. I really think that my background as a writer and as a freelancer taught me to think and to form ideas and to form sentences and arguments in a really, really strong way. And it's diminished lately. And I feel it's because my attention can so easily ping pong around if I'm not being dedicated to it. So I want to spend my attention better this year. I want to continue to read widely, as I said, but I'm also counting in the year of attention as the things that I want to do less of. And I specifically want to talk about how I mean this socially and politically. 2025 is going to be a banger of a year in a bad way. We have the new Trump administration coming in. We have global conflicts that are entering their second and third years and are going to be exacerbated by the myriad elections that we've had over the year in 2024 and are coming up in 2025. My politics, I'm pretty open about, I think. And when it comes to Trump and Trumpist style media and politics in particular. In the first administration, I really had to come to terms with the fact that the flood the zone tactic, where Steve Bannon, a Trump advisor, has spoken about this very openly, where you just flood the zone with shit, where you're constantly saying outrageous things, sometimes doing outrageous things, but not always, to troll people, to provoke people, or to keep people's attention divided and, again, ping-ponging around, is a tactic, number one, of misdirection. If someone can, do a look over there, it keeps your attention from what they might be doing over here. It's also a tactic of exhaustion, where you're so busy chasing the latest outrage, the latest ball, that again, you might not have the energy to continue in a thoughtful way, any kind of resistance or any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of corralling of a particular argument or media cycle. And the unfortunate thing is that flooding the zone, it works. It works on me as an individual. It works on, God, I'm so sorry for using this phrase, but mainstream media. We saw that in the first Trump administration, and I feel as though we're already seeing the tendency of a lot of traditional media outlets to recapitulate to that kind of way of thinking, of taking every statement or every story and running with it and paying huge amounts of attention to it, whether or not it's actually backed up by anything, which I find dangerous. Like I said, I had to come to terms that flooding the zone is a tactic that works on me. And I don't want it to work on me as much this time around, because I, and a lot of people that I know, are tired. It's a different world several years on, 8 years on, from when his first administration kicked off. Social tensions are higher. Economic pressures are different. Geopolitics has shifted in the near decade since. And I believe that the various media and political factions that surround him, and Trump himself, is a genuine master of this tactic of flooding the zone, of just constantly trawling for reactions to whatever he said last. That I need to be more careful about how I expend my time and energy, number one, because if I don't, I won't be able to stay meaningfully informed on anything. Number two, I and other people are more likely to follow bad faith red herrings that distract from the causes and the policies that I do care about most and that affect me most. And number three, I just don't want to fucking fall for it anymore. Flood the zone tactics work. They work on me as an individual. They work on us as a society. But like so many things, it's a tactic that requires my/our participation in order to work. And I don't want to give that participation this time around. It's so easy to fall foul of. And, we live in a trollocracy at the moment, between the people who Trump has chosen to surround himself with this time, or who have managed to surround him. Jury's still out. It's trolligarchs and broligarchs, and a huge amount of the way these people seem to move through the world, their own self-concepts, but also how they have, in particular, amassed the influence and power they have, aside from exploitative labor practices, which give them a lot of money, is through the attention economy. They demand our attention, and they will, Elon Musk being an excellent example, constantly raise the stakes. That's bad for us as a society, and again, I don't want to contribute to that any more than I already do by trying to stay a meaningfully informed person and citizen. I also want to, in choosing how I spend my attention this year, be a lot more alive to how the forces that try to command our attention have changed in the last decade in particular. Some of the big stories in 2024 were all about AI and what it is, what it isn't, what it can do, what it is not capable of doing despite the PR hype, what it is capable of doing, which isn't necessarily part of the PR hype. And I think that's a discourse that's going to continue into 2025. But part of the attention economy is how we have structured social media and therefore commercial and even interpersonal reactions to provoke engagement or reaction. And a huge amount of that, again, there's a lot more thoughtful people than me that have written very eloquently on this, is about provoking people, because a negative emotion is so much easier to provoke than a positive one in many cases. And I said this in my trad wife rant, rage clicks are the same thing as like clicks. So if something is easier to provoke and gets you the same benefit, which is engagement, reactions, responses, or again, emotional energy spent, directed, or pointed at a particular topic or idea, that's what the attention economy is going to mobilize around. Between AI, in my opinion, what are now demonstrably unethical and also morally dangerous business practices, particularly in the media and the social media space, I want to be a lot more careful about where my attention is going, because there are so many market forces that benefit from my attention. And I'm not one of them. None of us are. We're the product. We're not the consumer. And I don't want to give my money or my attention to platforms, people, or corporations that are using it in ways that are so self-evidently destructive. Now, something, nothing ethical under capitalism. Here I am making a video on a platform owned by Google. I'm not an idiot. I know how these things work. And I also know that it's kind of impossible to function in this space without, capitulating in some way. But I can choose how I do it. I can be thoughtful about it. I haven't been on Facebook since 2015. I made the choice to get off Twitter almost entirely because of the Musk takeover and what it did to the platform and the political clout of the platform, which was always outsized versus its user base, but Twitter used to be a genuinely useful platform for news and information. You always had to be judicious and you always had to, fact check that what you were seeing was real. But in terms of just a flow of information, it was really useful. It's not anymore. And I have picked up Threads in the meantime, which is another Instagram product. So more Zuckerberg money, which I am thinking about quite a bit, particularly as Threads is probably going to be introducing ads in 2025. And I've ranted before, I'm so sick of being sold to constantly. So if anything gets me off Threads, it will be that. And I don't know that I'm going to replace it with anything different. I'm probably going to have to spend my money and my time and my attention on some mainstream media outlets whose editorial honesty I appreciate. And for the record, I read left, middle, and right publications. I read very widely, very purposefully. I try to check my own biases, and I actively try not to live in an echo chamber or a vacuum of opinion. But there are honest brokers of information across the political spectrum, whether or not you agree with their politics. So that's where I'm spending my money, and it's where I'm going to be paying attention this year. But yeah, I don't know how to engage ethically in social media. anymore. It's something I'm thinking about this year too. And in the year of attention, I want to talk my thoughts out more. I'll do some more raw vlogs about this, I'm sure. AI has changed the game in the same way that social media changed the game. Where AI is, I think, going to come into its own in 2025 is as bad faith brokers. Some news broke the other day that Facebook is going to be introducing whole profiles of users who aren't users, who are just AI created profiles. I mean, we are swiftly approaching the reality of the dead internet theory, where it's just bots interacting with bots, which is too bad, and not very fun, and makes some of my other goals a little bit silly by comparison. But I, and apparently other people, I saw this social media post shared, which again, I'll try and put here if I can find it again, that this person noticed something which I had independently come to myself, which is I still want to make stuff, and I still want to write stuff, and I still want to film stuff, and I still want to create. I'm feeling a real drive towards creativity, one that I haven't felt in a while, because in 2024, started a new job. We did some traveling. I was very, very career-minded, and then I was very family-minded, and then I was very move-minded. I didn't have a lot of space for creativity in 2024, and part of my year of attention in 2025 is I want to make space for that creativity again. And I have no idea if it's going to actually work for me in any sense of value creation sense. And I'm not even talking monetary. I don't know if this is the best way to use my time. But I want to try it because I haven't done it in a while. And while I'll never probably get back to the level of online traffic I had back in the day when blogging was at its height, before Google killed Reader, and when we still cared about individual people's editorial perspectives and points of view in a way that is no longer served by search engine optimization and the self-cannibalism of the internet that social media and now AI is facilitating, I still appreciate it for me, and I think it helps me think better and forces me to put my thoughts and ideas and aspirations together in a way that is constructive. So even if it's just me talking to myself in 2025, I'm going to be using my attention back on some of my creativity projects, particularly my writing. And we'll see how that goes. So yeah, 2025, it's going to be the year of attention, where we do put it, where we don't put it, how we do spend it, how we refuse to spend it, what we are paying attention to and what we are not paying attention to. That's where I think that I've landed. I'm really curious if anyone else out there does this theme-based approach to the year, what it looks like for you. Do you find value in resolutions, or do you not find them as useful a tool the way that I don't? And if you don't, what do you do instead? What are your mini goals, if you have any? And does this idea of attention resonate with you at all? As always, this is me talking into a camera unscripted, so I'm sure I haven't even put these thoughts together in as coherent a way as I would wish. But this idea of attention is something that I really want to meditate on this year, and hopefully, at least with somebody out there, it will also turn into some kind of conversation. So if that jives with you, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one.